Peace. This is Peace TV. We live on location at the headquarters of Jamarhl Crawford, running for District 7 City Council. Just gonna just basically give a little bio about what the brother's into and how he became candidate for City Council.
All right. Well, first of all, this is not my campaign office. This is the Hood Hub headquarters. So anybody who's doing anything positive in the community can use this space for whatever it is they're doing. Leave flyers, camp out on the lawn, whatever. It really is. I'm trying to create a sense and a live example of community in action. So that's number one. Who am I? Jamarhl Crawford from Humboldt Avenue on Ruthven Street, where my family has lived forever. My mom's lives in Mattapan, so most of my life was back and forth between the house in Mattapan and the house on Humboldt. So, Roxbury, Mattapan. My mother owned a business for years in Dorchester, so I got a good, mix of all three different communities, and then not to mention all the friends in the years. Humboldt being central between Grove Hall, right, and Eggleston on the other side, so then that went on down in the JP and whatnot. So I got a lot of good friends all across our communities and whatnot. Why am I running for the office? Quite simply, our community is really in a dire situation. We are in the worst need of help, the ones who have the most suffering, the ones who get the least amount of help in terms of resources. And I would submit that the representation that we have is the weakest on the city council. So here you have other areas which aren't afflicted with the same conditions that we are. So you have, let's say, somewhere like West Roxbury. And if you look at West Roxbury, who needs less, gets more. And then if you look at their representation, they are fierce, and you ain't taking a penny away from them people. But meanwhile, in our district, it needs the most, gets the least, and we have what I would submit once again is the weakest representative fighting on our behalf to bring those services to the place that needs them the most. So basically, after looking at this situation for the 2 years that Councilor Jackson has been in office, I just felt like we couldn't take it anymore, and that we needed a change, and we needed somebody who was going to be able to advocate fiercely for our community in a manner that was befitting the fact of our dire condition. And I can't see how we're in this shape and this condition and someone is not fighting day in and day out, fighting on our behalf to make sure that we get these things. And then lastly, of course, and this is the reason I do everything, is the overwhelming love for my people and community. So we're doing this only because we think that we could do better in terms of serving our people, and providing examples like this, coming with a track record. Watching my good friend Cornell Mills run against the councilor the first time, and unfortunately we were not victorious in that, even though we should have been, because Cornell did better than him at every debate. His ideas were clearer, vision clearer. But I do remember during that campaign that Councilor Jackson, then Tito Jackson, now the councilor, made promises as to what he would do when he was in office. A couple of those that are just real easy is he promised up and down at every forum that he was going to have a district office. Hasn't happened. He also promised, and actually he stole this idea from Cornell because it was part of Cornell's platform, when he said that Cornell would have a mobile office roving around various areas. And then Tito said at the very next debate when he stole it, said that I'm going to have a mobile office going from place to place, and he hasn't done that either. Up until I had a meeting with him privately to let him know of my intention to run, which was months ago in the summer, and we met up in Franklin Park, just the two of us, and I told him why I was running and also told him my feelings as to what he was not doing. And I'll tell you, like I told him, at this point, if we go around our community and ask everybody what are the major issues, people are going to say violence, number one, and then after that, battling back and forth for 2 and 3 will be education and employment. So you got violence, education, and employment. Now, at this time, Tito Jackson is known for a couple of events. One is the Tito Turkey Fry. The other is a Michael Jackson versus Prince party, where he would often dress up in regalia for Prince. Wig, purple velvet blazer, white silk shirt with the George Washington ruffles or the Prince ruffle type of shirt, black or purple satin pants, and then high heel platform shoes, of which he had several pair. One was tiger stripe, one was snow tiger, and the other was snow leopard. And so at that time, he had did about 6 turkey fries, maybe 5 Michael Jackson versus Prince parties, but hadn't convened one forum, one meeting, one town hall meeting about violence, education, or employment. And after I told him my intentions to run, the next week is when he went on Touch Radio and announced he was starting his campaign against violence, Enough is Enough, where he did 7 weeks visiting different areas in the community. And once again, it was a lackluster effort. There was no tangible evidence from there, nothing that you could mark or measure. So doing these Enough is Enough, one of my guys on the street said, well, I guess enough is enough, just wasn't enough. And from other people I've heard, enough is enough, but they ain't talking about the violence. They talking about that crap that people be laying on you when they're trying to convince you of something that is not true. So enough of that. So those are some of the reasons why I'm running. I encourage everybody to do your own research. Research me, research him. If you find the things that he has done, can you please call my campaign? Because I'm trying to get a clarity about what it is that he has actually done. Thus far, it's looking pretty close to a goose egg. So if somebody can do the research and you find out that he did do something, I certainly would like to know that. And if you look at what I have done for the past 25 years, I'm only 42, so I've been active since I've been 15, 16, 17 years old.
That's what I was about to say.
That you can mark and document and evidence.
You seem to be
photos
more
to prove it.
You seem to be more passionate about what you do than he was. He probably more just into gets a job, now he's having fun, you know?
Yeah, I have no idea what motivates him or anything. He's a nice guy by all accounts, but as I've said with my campaign song, I'm different. And what we do is just different, So and that's what it comes down to. People are going to have to look. Do you want that or do you want this? And after you look and do the examination, you got a choice. And therein lies the difference. Do you want what he has been doing or not been doing? Or do you want what we can potentially bring to this office? And you know that for once, you'll have somebody in the office that you don't have to convince, cajole, sway to your side and your way of thinking. You have somebody in there who's already right there with you and been there, evidenced. That's the key. It's evidence. This is not just me flapping my gums. You can see the work that I've done. Google me. Go on the website. Look the stuff up. You got any questions? Call me. The phone is right on my hip. I answer.
Oh, that's peace. No, we're mostly concerned with the youth violence. Like you said, he hasn't done too many outreach and stuff like that for the youth. We know you're out here with the youth all the time. You know a lot of young brothers and stuff like that. Do you feel as that's a good way to attack the campaign, is focusing on the youth? Or
well, I mean, once again, this campaign is an extension. I'm not a politician. I'm an activist and an organizer. So this campaign is just an extension of the types of things that we've already been doing. So everything that we've done before is still going to happen during the campaign. If I win, lose, or draw, don't matter. These things are going to continue during, after, you know what I mean? So we've been on that wave. I think that, yes, focusing on the youth, but there's a couple of key components. One is every year, many of the youth are fighting for more youth employment. And as we noted, employment is one of the big deterrents to violence and crime. So dealing with youth, number one, obviously we have to talk about employment, so that these youth who have jobs during the summer or after school, that is a proven deterrent for crime. Pardon now, the lights are dark. But that's a proven deterrent for crime, giving kids something to do, something to be about. And also, too, when you have one kid working in, let's say, a circle of friends, right, in a little network in a neighborhood, then other kids are like, oh man, you got a job? Or you working down at Best Buy? Or you working at Stop and Shop? Man, is the application, can I get on? So it's a deterrent with a ripple effect, right? So hopefully we can get more kids employed. And then also, too, education. The education system is horrible. And education being the passport to the future, the passport to the world, the better education we can create for our young people is the more that it opens up and expands their mind and opens them up to horizons that they may not seen as possible before. And when we look at, the career choices of some people, you talk to the average kid, they want to go up and be a rapper or a basketball player, right? Nobody's thinking about agricultural technology. Nobody's thinking about electrical engineering or mechanics or aviation mechanics or the litany, taxes, accounting. I mean, there's a litany of jobs out there in the world, but we seem to be stuck on like 3, 4, or 5 of them, not knowing that there's thousands and thousands of different jobs and things that you can get in, particularly around what they call now STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And there's big things going on the horizon, of course, in the tech field, also in the agricultural field, utilizing new technologies and whatnot. So these are bubbling fields, and our kids need to be involved in there. And I'm famous for saying in some of my stuff, our kids know how to play PlayStation, their kids know how to make PlayStations. So, and when we look across the world, particularly in Asian countries or countries that are often very impoverished, but those kids over there are getting tangible skills, technology-wise. That's why India is kicking our behind right now. That's why China has been kicking our behind right now. And we need to get our youth in our neighborhoods and our communities to think about different trajectories. And then lastly, on the violence, I'll leave you with this. One of my ideas to combat the crime and the violence is telling Boston police that they should set up kiosks in the areas that they've already identified as hotspots. It's not a term I like, it's a term they use. But they have said that there are typically 16, 17 different hotspots where all the violence occurs or what have you. So I said, well, let's put a kiosk there. Put a police kiosk there that not only serves as an element of law enforcement, not only serves as a deterrent, because if you see a big police kiosk there, you're less likely to do something right there, even though that hasn't worked too well in Dudley. But in any event, if you have a police kiosk in these areas, because people drink right in front of the doggone police station, they could finish the bottle, throw the bottle, and hit the police station. But in any event, kiosks in our community. And what would that kiosk look like? Not just have a law enforcement element, but also where people would be able to come in. Parents, say, I need something for my kids to do after school. They would have all the City of Boston community centers and locations, or sign up to get your kid in school, or whatever it is. That there would be also community services in these places. So it's not just the big nightstick of law enforcement. It also has a community service component. And what would that example of the kiosk look like? Hello, we're in one. You can get these trailers for dirt cheap money, and you can put them in these areas like this, and it does not have to once again just be this bland, ooh, the police coming to, heavy-handed law enforcement, but something that's a little bit more community accessible, friendly, with information and resources. I mean, I don't got no money, and you can come in here, you can get a water, a mint, a banana. What, the Boston police can't do that with millions of dollars? What I'm saying is we need to create things like this, think outside the box, and use our brains, use our creativity to do things like this that don't have to cost $8.3 million or whatever. There's simple stuff that we could do that, is, as I say, low cost, maximum impact.
That's peace. So how can the people reach you if they want information or help support you or whatever?
Okay, so the website is my name, JamarhlCrawford.com. My name is spelled a little strangely, so it's Jamarhl Crawford.com. If that's too difficult, you could do JC4D7, JC4D7.com. If that's still too difficult, Roxbury.com. And if that's too difficult, you're probably not going to vote anyway. So JamarhlCrawford.com, JC4D7.com, and Roxbury.com. On the flip side, also too, if you just need services and resources like I was talking about, and it has nothing is separate from my campaign, you won't see my picture on there or nothing like that, you can go to district7boston.com, district, the number 7, Boston.com, and you'll get all the services and resources that we know about, and you can add your own, send us an email or what have you if you know something good for the people. And then lastly, we're doing what we're calling a people's poll. And the people's poll says, who are you feeling? Who would you most likely vote for? And you can check that out online, thatorthis.info, thatorthis.info. And you can cast your vote like the Coke or the Pepsi challenge or something. Cast your vote for who you're more likely to rock with. Are you rocking with Jamarhl, or are you going for the incumbent Tito Jackson? So thatorthis.info. So check that out as well. My phone number is 857-574-5227. 857-574-5227. The email is JamarhlCrawfordD7@gmail. Jamarhl Crawford, Jamarhl Crawford D7 at Gmail. You can check me out on YouTube, Jamarhl C, Jamarhl C. Jamarhl C on YouTube. See all our tutorials up there about how to vote. You can see us feeding people. It's loads of fun. And then also too, if you're on Twitter, @JC4D7. If you're on Facebook, elect Jamarhl Crawford. I think that about covers it. What do you think?
Yeah, that's peace.
Oh, the text. Text JC for D7 to
77948.
Huh?
77948.
Text JC for D7 to 77948 to get on our text updates. All right, and we're here in this campaign trailer. Every Saturday we feed the hood. Every Sunday are our conference calls, what I'm calling Jamal's conference calls. Every Monday, what are we doing? Monday is the coffees with Crawford, which now we'll have to change that schedule because now we'll be asking people to come here and have coffee with me here. And I'll get some, Dunkin' Donuts from our local businessman who owns the Dunkin' Donuts franchise, Clayton Turnbull. So we'll get some Dunkin' Donuts coffee and some fruits and some, we'll do it like we always do. So, so that's about it.
All right.
There you go, John.
All right. You got everybody in this shot?
You don't need a panoramic.
No, this is the picture, yeah.